welcome to FemVids Ultimo. I'm Alicia Evans, Program Associate Research Officer for FemLink Pacific.
And I'm Sean Rolls, Program Associate Media Advocacy, also for FemLink Pacific. Happy New Year! And what better way to start the year than looking backwards?
So in December we had the Western Divisional Consultation. We talked about many things related to health, pretty much all boiling down to the fact that women don't really think about themselves. No matter, how sick they get, how many children they have, or even, how many meals they skip because they want the family to eat, basically. Women, look after yourselves.
And so while that was happening in Nandi, the women of the North were coming together, with our team in Mombasa. The women of the North definitely wanted to see the way that the 2016 budget was presented, actually happening in reality. That'd be nice. But we're welcoming, as everybody else really, for the dropping of the luxury status on feminine hygiene products, for example, but also for diapers, which is incredibly important and things that, kids need, our aging population as well.
Yes.
And now if we can just get everyone earning a living wage, that'd be nice.
And then we ended the divisional consultations with the central one here in Suva. It was pretty amazing, really, to see a bunch of young women coming together, and not just young women, there were young mothers as well, but mothers of all kind of diversities. We had your grandmothers, we had your working single mothers, we had your young mums, even a mother with a disability, and so many mums. Women are excluded from development. That's pretty much what we got from that central divisional consultation. So someone from government, hopefully, get on that train.
Change is needed, and of course people were definitely calling for change at the close of the 16 days of activism to end gender-based violence. With World Human Rights Day, there isn't, an annual march, and so the sovereign couldn't actually deter or dampen the high energy of all those really kind of excited and celebrating, the events of the 16 days and all that. So it's a lovely way to close one of our busiest blocks of the year.
And what is December without Christmas? And then in the North, they celebrated Christmas rainbow style. Well, basically a diverse group of awesome people kind of got together basically to have a time of self-reflection and share for themselves and others who are basically sidelined from society simply because they are honest about who they are. Now, how's that for a reason for the season?
And for our December 13-25 monthly consultations, we heard what women wanted for Christmas. They wanted safety and food. That's pretty much it, apparently. Just to eat good food with their families, to enjoy something that is unfortunately a little bit of a luxury at the moment, and, also not wanting to worry too much about, say, getting broken in during the festive season or the fights in the street. So you might as well ask for the moon. But all did seem to go well, and the police do believe it was because of the weather. And to the weather.
To the weather, more specifically to Women's Weather Watch. Rain. Well, not really everywhere, but a lot of rain in specific areas, especially towards the latter half of the month. And not to mention over in Tuvalu, king tides happening there with very strong winds.
Yes, and as much as the rain fell in a lot of the Western Division, it still actually hasn't helped any or sort of stemmed any of the problems that came through for the extended dry spell. All of which was followed by Tropical Cyclone Ula, affecting a significant, if not all, of the Pacific, which continued into the new year.
And then there was flooding.
Yay!
Lots of flooding across the Pacific, again in the latter part of the month as well. Great time to be in the Pacific.
Special, great time, during Christmas season.
Yeah.
Good fun. But also something that happened a little bit before all the rains fell, a book was launched, the Fijian Women's Political History Booklet. Now there is physical evidence that women can in fact be in leadership.
What?
Surprise, surprise. And while definitely there are gaps in the text itself, it's because it's near impossible to fully describe the depth and breadth of women's contributions politically pre- and post-independence. So definitely hopes for the Fiji Young Women's Forum and the Fiji Women's Forum, who launched the booklet, for future opportunities to continue to document the political history of our Fijian women.
And also in December, there was that whole gathering of world leaders, kind of civil society activists, scientists, for that big thing in France. It was called COP21, climate change. And the Pacific were also there because we had a particular vested interest in climate change.
Definitely.
But it was kind of disappointing, really, the outcome. But never mind, we still do have UN SCR 2242, which includes specific reference to climate change. And even though many activists were disappointed following the release of the agreement, they do agree, first step in a long journey. Where that journey is heading to, who knows?
Hopefully a better place. And lastly, who made the news in December? We noted that of the 865 stories that we documented or looked at throughout the month, 23.7% were written by women, 21.8% feature women in their stories, 13.3% directly quote a woman, 13.6% indirectly quote a woman, 16.1% stories were accompanied by a photograph that had a woman pictured. Positive, seeing as most of the numbers, including women, fall, a little bit too far away from, a more acceptable 30%.
Yeah.
It's probably, not the greatest. And some of the poorest representations that we found in terms of, pure numbers, but also the representation overall, was seen in the areas of sports, business, and transport coverage, as well as reporting of security matters. Now, sports is one of the most popularly written stories. So if, say a quarter of the stories that we looked at were probably sports and women not making very much of that, it's a bit of a worry. And considering the other issues are things that we hear women are grappling with on a day-to-day basis, probably not the fairest representation.
No, so kind of disappointing for December's Who Makes the News. But that's pretty much it for FemVids Ultimo for December. Thank you very much for watching this edition of Ultimo. And if you want to check out the other podcasts and uploads that we have for Ultimo, make sure that you check out our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/ do the action, Sean. / Feminine Pacific. But then also we have a YouTube page as well, and our website www.femlinkpacific.org.fj, and we also have Twitter.
Yes, so that's at Femlink Pacific and at Femlink MAO. All of which are great ways to get in touch with us if you want to find a quick way to send us a note and let us know about something, how you felt about something, if you liked something, if you want to hear more of something, either here on Ultimo or of any of our other programming. It'd be great to hear from you.
Yeah. So that's it. I'm Alicia Evans, Program Associate Research for Feminine Pacific.
And I'm Sean Rolls, Program Associate Media Advocacy, also for Feminine Pacific. See you next time.
Bye.